All right, guys, this is the NSL Weekly Podcast. This is episode 9. It's a little bit later than usual. Had some issues. But today we're doing better. Today we're going to be giving our first impressions, so it's kind of good we didn't get to it yesterday because we can give our first impressions of Madden. 3 of us have played it. Dom has not, but he has been watching some Twitch streams, so he gets a general sense of how it is. First thing I want to start off is with general impressions of the game, and my general impressions are that it's a lot better than last year, and I think it would be a really good game if they could just take off all the defensive wide receiver buttons they added, just make it back like it was last year. If they could take out all that, the polish they added to the game makes it a really fun game, but the receiving and defensive back interaction to me feels like a gimmick. It takes a lot of control out of your hands, which is supposed to give you control. Because I can't strafe, intercept the ball when I want to. I got to make sure I'm pressing the right button, which I don't even know what the right button is half the time. I don't know the difference between playing the receiver and playing the ball. I know what the difference is in real life, but most of that's zone or man coverage, and it doesn't seem to be the case here. It seems mostly the type of throw they make, whether you play the man or the ball. So all that seems like a complete gimmick. If they could just take that out of the game somehow, I think this would be one of the best Maddens I've played since PS2. And that's saying something because I'm one of Madden's hardest critics. All right, Jeff, how do you feel about it?
Well, I played a lot of Draft Champions last night for not too long, and overall, that was a fun mode, great add-on to the game for sure. But outside of that, you're definitely right about the catching. I didn't really seem to get it. I was just used to tapping Y every fucking time, and then I'd either drop it every other time, or Alshon Jeffrey would make the best catch of his life. And these guys are making like 5 to 6 spectacular catches a game, and that just doesn't happen.
Okay, Craig, how do you feel about your first impressions?
Yeah, I totally agree. A lot of one-handed catches out of just thin air, not knowing. It's confusing as a defender what causes those tip interceptions, and those happen way too much, I think. Playing Ultimate Team had 2 tip picks in one quarter. That was pretty disappointing for me. But overall, though, I think it's a great improvement, though. The running, blocking, the fluidity of it. I feel like it's a lot less animations, and it's more actual movement.
Yeah, I gotta agree with everything you said. Like I said, if they could just take out all that gimmick, to me, it takes away so much of the game because you don't know what. You're not in control. You're not moving the wide receiver. You're pressing a button to make him do this ridiculous catch. When before it at least took skill to make those ridiculous cheap catches, you know. Dom, you've watched some Twitch streams. What are your initial impressions of what you've seen?
It looks good. I saw that the offensive linemen are better than they were last year. You know, you can run up the middle now. I was actually watching Jeff play Draft Champions. The biggest thing I came away with over there is if you got a solid wide receiver, you're money. He was playing one guy and he had AJ Green, and dude was catching everything.
Hey, baby.
Dude had 206 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, AJ Green was tearing him up. But I mean,
unfair.
It does look like wide receiver, the aggressive catch, especially if you got a top tier receiver, is going to be overpowered as hell. So hopefully they do something to fix that, or at least bog it down a little bit, you know, before the game comes out or with the first update. But the biggest thing, like I said, you can run the ball up the middle now, and I'm a happy camper. That's all I need to see.
Yeah. They definitely, the RE button is amazing for running ball, but we'll get to that. First, I want to start off with go into some detail, the wide receiver deep back interaction specifically. And like I said, I guess I harped on it a little already. Just take it completely out of the game. Keep the animations, make the computer do them based on a situation. I don't know of a receiver that's thinking of what kind of catch he's going to make before the ball comes. He's just focusing on the ball and making the catch. I play tight end. I never ran the route and be like, you know what, I'm going to make sure that I catch this and go to the ground when I catch. Maybe if it's, a first down, there's a situational reason for it, but I never specifically tried to catch it one-handed or specifically, a little weird to me. They should have just made Y the intercept ball. I understand the whole hit the ball out thing and play the receiver button, but it doesn't always activate for me, and sometimes it just stops. So I'm afraid to play defensive back, and because if you miss it, that spectacular catch is going all over your face, and you're just going to look stupid. So I think it's a gimmick. I think it'll be out of Madden in a year or two. I hope it is, or they fix it. So, all right. Your thoughts specifically, since you got murdered by AJ Green.
God,
Jeff.
that was the worst game I've ever played in a long time. This guy, he dropped back to pass, and within 6 catches, AJ Green already had 206 yards and 3 touchdowns, and it was game over. I do like the ability to be able to actually go up and catch it with 2 hands in this Madden with the aggressive catch button, because in the last Madden you'd throw up a deep ball and I'd throw it to either Alshon or Brandon Marshall, and you'd go up with the one hand and be all retarded and wouldn't catch the ball and it'd get picked off. And then I do like that they added that in, but it seems, like you said, to be pretty much just a gimmick. It'll be one of those things that's out of Madden pretty quick. I didn't like that in this one. It seems like when you're using a linebacker, when you're running around pressing Y, it doesn't really work as up too often. I mean, I had a couple user picks still, but not as many as I probably should have had, I think. It seems kind of slow defensively, but it's a fluid game for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that too. It's a lot harder to user because they don't always react because of so many buttons that they're not. It's hard for them to understand what you're trying to do, much less what you understand and what you're. It's just complicated, way too complicated. It's a throw and a catch. It's the simplest thing in football, and they made it a fucking Street Fighter 2 turbo combo, So, Carson, how do you feel about the catching and defensive back interaction specifically?
I have a horrible habit of that in this year of as soon as I pass the ball, I push B and change the receiver, and I running to where the ball is going to be on my own, I am not a fan of as soon as you tap a button to throw to a receiver, you hold down your catch button, and then you're on a beeline to where the ball is going. You've no movement at all. Didn't think about saying it as a gimmick, but I couldn't agree more. Going to be gone very shortly. I think it's probably worse than the quarterback vision. Whenever that was
06.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting for me. Again, the D-backs is I tend to play safety a lot, and I like to roam around, and it's been a lot harder than last year's, and the ball goes up, and you really have to think about what button you're going to push, and I feel like that takes away from a lot of the fun of just actually watching and playing a game of football.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said before, when I played football, no, I'm not an NFL player. I played in high school. I had to get a job. I didn't play very much longer. But when I did play, watching the receiver and watching the ball, or playing the receiver and playing the ball, are two things you do depending on if you're playing man or zone coverage. You're playing man, you play the receiver. You play zone, you play the ball. I don't understand why I got to press a button when that's, as far as I know, and again, I'm not NFL, maybe I'm missing something here, but that's something they should already be doing per se. And I understand it, I just don't get it. It seems like if you try and intercept it and they try and do aggressive catch, no matter what, the aggressive catch is going down.
Yeah. I got a quick question for, I think it was Jeff got slaughtered by AJ. Did you have any good corners? Did you have good corners, or?
I had Patrick Peterson, and I think
So that was just.
Yeah, I was just getting destroyed. I had a pretty good team. I had no QB, but I had Alshon Jeffrey, Jordy Nelson, Le'Veon Bell, Jason Peters, Brian Bulaga, and then I had Patrick Peterson and another 80 overall corner at least, and I was just getting destroyed by AJ Green.
All right, Dom. you've seen the highlights. What are your feelings so far? It's hard to really tell, I guess, until you played it. But do you have any initial reactions to the wide receiver D-back interactions?
Like you said, it's hard not having the controller in my hand, but
No.
I think honestly, I mean, it's pretty shitty now, but I think it's just going to be one of those things that with time, the more we play it, it's going to become second nature. You're not going to have to think about it as much. You're going to know. I mean, it's still going to be a pain in certain situations, but I think it's one of those things where it's just like, the more you play, the more it's going to get ingrained in your head. Okay, play the ball. Okay, play the receiver. This button, that button, and you're not even going to be able to think about it anymore. It's just going to be, a reflex. Because I mean, let's be honest, we play this game a lot.
It's true.
A lot of this stuff is just muscle memory. A lot of this stuff is just muscle memory.
For me, the hardest part about learning it is I've got to, if I'm playing to learn it against the CPU or against the human, the only way I'm going to learn it is giving up a touchdown. So it's like it's easier for me just to play the D line. I don't know. I like control. I like having control of my players. I've been playing Madden since PS2. Back then you had to control everything. Like there was no ball hawk. You pressed Y when the ball was in the air, or you missed the interception and you fell on your ass. I don't understand why they don't bring that back. Because that took skill. That was fun. I enjoyed that. All right, next we're going to go up to the running mechanics, which they didn't really tout. This is what they should have touted, though, because the running mechanics feel amazing compared to last year. The line is still questionable, but they have the new RB button behind the line of scrimmage. The jukes they're actually, instead of juking halfway across the field, you're juking into a hole now, which is what I've always tried to get done. The RB button, if you get, I complain about this a lot, getting butt humping people. I did this with AP, and AP does a spin around him now. And so instead of just sitting there and, just grinding on his ass, he spins off and goes, he spins off and goes in the hole. It seems like they made running to the outside a lot easier again, so that might be a little iffy. Because the cuts on the outside are incredibly easy again. It almost feels like you have as much control of your running back as you did on 360. But saying that, it still looks more fluid than it did on 360 because now they're cutting back upfield instead of just running around in a circle. So I really like the running mechanics. Hopefully the running to the outside isn't going to be an issue. I have 91 speed linebackers. It shouldn't be an issue for me, but maybe for some other people. Jeff, how did you feel about the running mechanics?
I had a real good time running the ball when I did run the ball in that Draft Champions. I didn't run it too much because it was just way too easy to throw the ball, and I was having a lot of fun with it. But there's two plays specifically that I liked a lot, or that I ran. Not like the actual plays, but I had two real nice plays running the ball. One, I handed off to Le'Veon on just a normal halfback dive. Le'Veon Bell. I ran into my right guard. He spun. Ran forward, ran over the safety, and took it to the house for a 40-yard touchdown. I was like, well, yeah, that's pretty normal. Or that's something you could see Le'Veon Bell actually doing. Whereas, in 15, it would feel like he'd probably get just destroyed by that safety. And then I had another play where I did an inside zone to Joseph Randall for a 35-yard touchdown, and he was just able to take it to the outside and go. The game is just way more fluid than it was last year, for sure. It just seems easier to run. As far as it's a slower game, it seems, but it gives me more time to pick my hole and decide where I'm going to go.
Yeah. All right, Carson, how do you feel about the new interactions?
Absolutely love them. My biggest issue with Madden for a long time was blocking, and a pulling guard comes around the corner and he's running right at somebody, and then last second just doesn't even touch him and goes for somebody else. I haven't seen that yet. The running, very fluid. So those two things combined makes halfback screens very deadly. Draft champions, I like picking up LT. I had him pop up damn near every time I've drafted a team so far, and those screens are pretty hard to stop if you're not the end on the side that the screen's going to. But running that, I love that RB, that get skinny, find the hole and hit the gap. That is A plus in my book.
I agree. How about you, Dom? You watched a few games, so.
Well, like he said, the few times he ran it, Jeff had one play. What did I say? Jeff had one play where he initially got stuck at the line, but I'm guessing he pushed the RB button, but he like spun out of it. It was only like a 6 yard play,
That's
but
the
it
argument.
was just it was a perfect point to what I was talking about beforehand. You know, he hit a button and he went from humping his lineman to finding the hole. He only got like about I think it was only like a 6 or 7 yard gain, but it was just the fact that he wasn't screwed once he hit his line. You know, he was able to get out of it,
I,
and I mean that said it all for me. As long as as long as you can do that, you got a chance.
I've had a few plays like that with AP where I was done. The play was over, -3 yards, and RB and doing some spin moves, and it looks realistic. I might just get back to the line of scrimmage, but Madden 15, that's maybe a 6 yard loss because you might hit them backwards and then they run backwards for 4 yards.
So you
Yeah.
get your progression. I hated
Yeah.
that.
But this year,
The only time you broke at the line in Madden 15 was when you were going backwards.
yeah. So this year, I mean, I've had a couple broken plays where AP has done just beautiful moves, and like I said, it might not be a game, but it's not a loss of 7. I don't feel like I'm risking. Last year, I felt like it was a risk running the ball for me, because who knows, I might get hurt in the backfield, hit in the backfield and do run. It was
Running a stretch play was always a guess if that DN was just going to explode upfield or not. And
yeah, that's a 4 yard loss. It's either a 4 yard loss or a 10 yard gain. So and most of the time for me, it was a 4 yard loss. So I'm like, why run the ball for negative yards every play? All right, next we're gonna go to the. We're gonna go over two more things: the connected franchise and the draft champion. I'm gonna go to the connected franchise first. Talk about the improvements. It looks like they added the. Y'all have already read the other stuff, but I want to give my impressions. The new drafting mode is pretty much you get 3 stats. You pay for one stat at a time. It's going to give you their top 3 stats. So it's incredibly easy and unnecessary to have talent to scout. You don't have to scout, man. I mean, you have to scout, but you just pick that guy and get your top 3 attributes. Everybody's getting the same top 3 attributes. You're not looking for speed. You're not looking for this. They do have the 40s on there, which is probably going to be the most useful thing. I also simmed a few seasons, and I got to say the drafts actually look better than the rookies they put in this year. So this draft class, I felt like is way too fast compared to the rest of the game. However, the fake draft classes are about on par with the Madden. I saw about 20 rookies with over 90 speed when I did it, which that's it, 20 out of the entire 250 draft, or I guess it's only 210 because they don't have supplemental. But so 20 out of 210, you're going to be trying to draft more than just speed, so that's a good thing. And they give the 40s, so these probably going to be the 21st players picked. So you're going to have to find some gems, maybe not fast guys. I actually like the general thing about the draft. I know Jeff doesn't like that he can't scout what he wants to. What else did they add that was helpful? You can also see your players. When you're trying to bid in free agency, you can see the stats. That was ridiculous last year. You're like, I'm just fucking bidding on a name. All right, So that's stupid. So now that you can view that. Other than that, I felt like they just tidied up a lot of the things. It'll make it so, since we're not playing computer games, you can just give the people those wins and not have scores ran up. Everything seemed to work fine for me. So how do you feel about the new, I guess really the main improvement is the new drafting. How do you feel about that, Jeff?
I do and I don't like it. I did like a lot in the last few games where you would scout everything on your own and you'd be able to find your own gems all over that. But I did like the whole combine stats because it really kind of shows you like how good each player is versus like the rest of everybody else. And it's like, I mean, obviously the normal scouting is going to be easy for everybody else, but getting that physical stuff, it's going to be a lot harder like than the old games where you would just press, hey, how fast is this guy? A speed? All right, well, he's going to be pretty quick. Now you're going to have to actually say, well, he's got like a 4.240. He's got to be fast. But
Yeah.
you never know. It's going to be something that like you have to actually like look at yourself and figure out. I did like that they added you can see stats of players in free agency. But another thing that they added was in-game now. I don't know if this will be online as well, but I played a couple actual like CFM games against the computer. They show you like they give you like goals for like a player or for the defense and something like that, and it gives them XP and it tells you what the XP is, and it gives them a little bit of a confidence boost as well. And then the other thing is confidence has been changed entirely. I simmed a few seasons, and there was one season the worst team in the league went 1-16. The worst guy that had like the worst confidence on that team was 40. Whereas in 15 the worst guy with confidence would have 0.
Yeah.
So confidence has been totally reset. I like now that commissioners can reset confidence. So let's say a guy leaves the league, a new guy comes in, you don't want to give this guy a 0 confidence team, you can reset it right to 50.
That's something I plan on doing every season too. So everybody's going to start because, in my opinion, a new season, new hope every year.
New season, new confidence. It doesn't make sense not to. And then I do like the added commissioners can decide the end score of a game now. Like so, like I'm playing another guy, we lag out, I'm up 27-3 at the end of the 4th. You can sim the game, and you can set the score to 27-3.
I didn't know you could set the score now. You can set the score?
I thought you could set the score. I know you could set that I would win, but
I didn't see where you could set the score.
I don't know if you could set the score. I don't know. I know you could set it that I would win regardless, but could be wrong.
Another thing that I missed was the game prep. It's more streamlined now. Now it's just you pick the players. You don't have to go to running back drill, blah, 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 blah. You still just go to whatever players. You can either sim it or you can do a little on-the-field drill. But now you don't, because I remember last year it was so aggravating. Get into the playoffs, you can't fucking game prep anybody but your running back. You know, it's like, I got AP. What do I need a game prep for? Him for. All right, how you feel about the new online franchise adjustments, specifically probably the draft, Carson?
I played franchise mode. I haven't got to the draft yet. I like franchise mode so far. The like playing actual games in it. The like that little ticker bottom line that tells you like weekly goals. Like Adam Jones gets 3 tackles, and it like keeps track of that, and then like little numbers pop up by his head, like plus so much XP, so much confidence. So like it's good to like see like that taking
Is it just me, or we've been asking for that without the whole goal thing for years? If they just did stats like that, wow, that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. And like you get a kick return, that little like bubble comes up and tells you like who it was, how far they got. Like I think they did a good job with like the adding like a like you're sitting on your couch watching a football game type feel, and. So that's what I've got out of franchise. The one thing I got mixed feelings about is like the just general interface of it. I liked last year's how like it had like the news stories and pictures and stuff, and I feel like it's all kind of like jumbled up and small and like hard to find stuff. But I mean that you'll get used to that over time. You'll know where to find stuff.
That's true. How about you, Dom? Did you take a look at it in any Twitch feeds?
I saw a little bit, but mostly is what I read. I love the fact that the commissioner can change the confidence. Because, like, when I joined the last league, I took over the Panthers, and whoever had him before I did just ran him into the ground. Everybody except Luke Kuechly had no confidence. Nobody could do anything. It was ridiculous. So I'm glad about that. I'm one of the few people, I guess, who actually liked the way the draft was and the way the scouting was in last one. The only thing I would have wanted more was just, more points. The fact that they have a combine now and you can see that, that's cool. I like that. If they could have put that in with last year's version, I'd have been completely happy. And then maybe you can get you can get a few extra skill point or uh, scouting points. That'd have been good. I mean, I'll see what it is, when we start up the game. Like I haven't got the chance to really check it out yet, but the fact that you can actually see my stats.
I said it's pretty much just 3 A clicks and you got all the information you can get on that guy. That's it.
Yeah, see, that takes the fun out of it, man. I mean, the draft is like, that's like Christmas, man. You get your guy, you don't really know what you have until it's over, and now it just kind of takes all the fun out of it.
Yeah, from what I've heard about it, I feel like there's going to be no, like, all the good people are going to be taken in the early rounds. There's never going to be, like, a Tom Brady or anything, Like, I fucking hate the guy, but, for example.
Last Madden, the draft was probably the funnest part for me as far as connected franchises went. Because, I mean, there would be every like 3-4 years, or every year, I'd get, like, a gem in, like, the 4th or 5th round, like a guy, like, a cornerback that he would be projected to be a 5th rounder, and I draft him in the 3rd because he had like double A like for man and zone, and he'd just be a beast. And the only problem was his awareness was super low, and no one would like even look at him because he's a 5th round corner. I don't know. I loved how like the old draft was as far as the scouting and the ability really find like gems were, but this one it's gonna really seem like everybody's gonna fall early.
We'll see. I think there's still gonna be gems just because you don't have all the stats on the guys. So you're gonna have a speed. The only thing that people will know is speed. They're gonna draft on speed. Maybe a lesser guy is gonna fall just because the speed wasn't top, but all of his other stuff are. Last thing we want to really go over is draft champions mode.
Yes! I got you!
She's mad because you never laugh, Joe.
I laugh. I just don't laugh out loud.
The draft champions mode. How did y'all feel about that? It's less of a gimmick than I thought it would be because I thought you were going to be coins, but I do notice that it does put you back into Madden Ultimate Team after a while. After you lose or after you win, I guess maybe after you win the 4th one. I don't know. I've lost 2 now. But after it puts you back in MUT. But you don't pay for anything. So right now it's fun. I assume eventually it's going to be a monetary thing. But right now it's fun. So it's a lot. I'm enjoying it. I like the drafting thing. It was a good move. So Jeff, how you feel about it? I think you're having a lot of fun with it.
I played about 6 or 7 games of it last night, and I absolutely loved it. Outside of getting wrecked by AJ Green in that one game. But other than that, I had a real good time. I think I made about 3 or 4 guys quit on me by the end of it because there was one game I was only up on a guy like 3-0, and he wasn't able to run the ball with LaDainian Tomlinson, so he quit on me. But I loved the whole drafting feature. While I was playing, I was in a party with another guy, and I was talking to him, like trying to figure out maybe who should I get here, maybe who should I get there, and it was fun just being able to like pick the guys. There was one draft I got really mad at myself because I had the choice between Le'Veon Bell, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady, and I picked Le'Veon Bell thinking I'd get another QB later on. Never got another QB, so I was stuck with Austin Davis as my QB. But other than that, I had an absolute blast playing Draft Champs last night.
Okay, how about you, Carson?
Yeah, no, I mean that's like I love fantasy and I like the fact that took Le'Veon Bell over Rodgers in them. I think that's like the funnest part of like making decisions.
You're echoing there, buddy.
Am I? What are we doing now?
Oh, you're better.
I think I'm
Still echoing a little bit. Dom, how do you feel about Draft Champs?
It looks cool, man. It looks really cool. I can't wait to play it.
There goes Carson.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it, man. I think like he was trying to say, the whole matter of the choice, do I pick this guy over this guy, and if I do, is it going to bite me in the ass later? I think that's the best part of it, man. That strategy in it, that's going to make it really fun. And like you said, as long as they don't bring in, buy 30,000 Madden coins and you can improve your chances or anything like that. As long as they keep it the way it is right now, I think it'll be great. Just, nobody has the upper hand. It's all a game of chance and, the decisions you make. I think it'll be fun.
It's going to replace ranked for me, especially since they took out the ability to see who you're playing in ranked, which bothers the hell out of me.
Yeah, now you're going to get stuck playing the Seahawks 100 times in a row without being able to back out.
By the time you're in it, it's over, so...
There was a couple things about Draft Champs that I would want to say. There was one game, it was like the last game I played. It was for me to win my fourth game. Most times, like, you get 15 guys to like 15 picks, and like you only get one legend at the end. And this guy, I don't know how he did it, but he had both Randall Cunningham and LaDainian Tomlinson on his team. I was talking to the guy I was in a party with, and I'm thinking it was because of if you win your 4, you get to keep your legendary guy. I don't know. So that's something I want to look into a little bit more. Maybe I should win 4 this time.
I don't know. I had two legendaries in a draft, so I don't think that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's like you get 2 legends or not, because I didn't get 2 like retired legends in any of my like 3 or 4 drafts I did.
Maybe they're years.
Maybe, I don't know.
I have Woodson and LaDainian Tomlinson. I think Tomlinson isn't it. I don't know. I had 2 though. So
yeah, I did like the whole draft thing, like I said, because it's like it seems that early on there's a lot of quarterbacks that come up, and I kept saying to myself, hey, I should pick a quarterback now. I should pick a quarterback now, and then 2 out of my 4 drafts, I ended up getting Randall Cunningham with my last pick, so I ended up getting lucky not picking a quarterback.
Randall Cunningham is cheap as fuck. I hate that guy. He beat me single-handedly just because he kept fucking rolling out. Fuck Randall Cunningham.
I didn't do that too often with him, actually. I wanted to. Like, that was the sole reason I drafted him, like, to be my QB, was I was going to just run with him, like, all the time because it's going to be super cheesy with an 88-speed QB. But I was like, you know, and then I just never did. I would drop back to pass and just throw bombs to Alshon and Jordy.
So, generally, I think we've all enjoyed the game. I think it's, any last things y'all want to say about the game?
Not really. Just can't wait till it actually comes out. I might open a second account and get another 10 hours before it comes out.
Yeah, I plan on doing that too. I'm down to 3 hours or something, so I'm gonna.
I played about 7 straight last night.
All right.
I just can't wait to bring.
Want to say thanks to Carson, who is what team is he? I don't even know right now. I'm lost. I think he's the Rams. That's right. Who is a huge Bengals fan. Pink, if you're listening to this, he would really appreciate the Bengals. He's a new member. Other than that, appreciate it, Jeff and Dom, and we'll see y'all next week. Thanks for the time.
Sounds good.
All right, peace.